We're stepping into Group C, as you said. The first two here today, the other two tomorrow. Chaemiko versus PCG, and then tomorrow Lin versus Hawk. Chaemiko, the hottest prospect, as you said, coming off the win in TED Cup, coming also off a third place in next spring. DreamHack Regional Finals, his standout performance when everybody's eyes were on Sock when it comes to human. But Sock failed and Chaemiko made it to the semi-final. Super strong. Since then, dipped a little. Smile Cup and DreamHack Summer, both botched performances. But yeah, he's up against PCG. He's the clear favorite with a good start into the tournament. We expect a lot from him, but he's up against an Undead, where people still say that this matchup is clearly Undead favored. I don't know if you agree, but the masses say that. And against Hawk, it's a human mirror where he historically looks pretty bad, but we see PCG. He's been around for a long time, 29 years old so far. I think he's already happy with qualifying for this. And we see it here in the answer. Getting a point in the group stage would be a success, and maybe that will happen. We see Chaemiko here. Semi-final is the goal, and that's a big statement. That is more confidence than we're used to seeing from most Asian players. PCG underestimating Hawk. I don't know, man. Hawk has pretty good practice against Happy lately, even though he got squashed in 20 minutes in a best of 5 yesterday, which is maybe not the best. He was saving tactics for PCG. That's the silver lining, right?
I didn't see that series. It was really 20 minutes?
Yep.
Oh my god, that's a rough one. Yeah, I like the confidence here by Chaemiko. I think top 4 is absolutely doable for him, especially with recent hot achievements that he's had. Dude, I saw a game that was TED Cup, PCG versus Fortitude on Concealed Hill. Chaemiko versus Fortitude on Concealed Hill. You know what he played? He played 1-base rifles into Zeppelin drop, into 1-base knights, and killed Fortitude at an expansion. It was one of the most insane games ever. It just seems at the moment Chaemiko has this aura. Whatever he tries, it just works. It just works. He's just looking so good right now. Yeah, PCG, he's gonna have one hell of a task here ahead of him.
If Chaemiko wins this tournament, he's not gonna raise the trophy, but his chair. I'm the biggest Chaemiko fanboy right now. I want to see that. We need to get this very moment. I'm kinda questioning if he's able to raise him above his head. But hey, maybe you get some help from Sock there. I guess they're living pretty close together. You might need that.
Chaemiko, the movie buff, is trying to set up his own perfect script here. If he was to make it to the final and perhaps even to win this championship, man, what a performance, what an achievement, what a storyline it would be for him. But until then, it's going to be a long road. He sounds confident. Everyone is seeing him as the favorite. Is there danger that Chaemiko might be underestimating PCG here, and might he be getting a little overconfident maybe even?
He defeated 1-0, 3-2 in the TED Cup final. How can you not be confident going into this matchup right now if you do just beat the best Asian undead there is? Yeah, good question, right? You don't know an answer.
Take a look at the maps first. Chaemiko vetoes Autumn Leaves and Last Refuge. That's a bit unusual. Concealed Hill and Tidehunters removed by PCG, leaving us with Chaemiko picking Amazonia. Bit surprising. That can be a tough map early on. And on the undead side, Northern Isles, that is of no surprise to anybody. Echo Isles was also in the pool. Chaemiko didn't pick Echo, which is a great map for AM against DK standard, and nowadays also looks decent for AM against Crippler, but no, he prefers AZ, so it seems like Chaemiko would just much more like not to go up against Crippler.
Yeah, that would be my take on this as well. Okay, we cast our predictions. We both go for Chaemiko, I guess. Let's see what the Twitch chat is going for. The predictions are now live for the first minutes of this game. Set number 3. Who's gonna be as cool, as focused, and colorful and take the 3 points? Will we have a cheeky draw here? We start on the undead map that is PCG's Northern Isles. Very understandably so. It is the home turf of undead, but it is at the moment the undead killer, not only in Asia, I would say, but worldwide.
Yeah, I guess you could say that. I guess you could. We're going to see the opening builds here. And for PCG, it is going to be a Crypt Lord. Wait a minute. Wasn't this a Ted Fiend opening? Ted Fiend Crypt Lord?
Ooh.
What?
Okay, PCG, he's in to surprise us as so often. This is only his second WGL participation, by the way. Was winter 2018, where, of course, we remember that glorious Beastmaster Hawk first mirror match versus Infi. But I guess he's here to show his skills a little more. Kind of crazy to think that he's around for 8-9 years and never really made it. But yeah, it's his big chance to shine in Next. He participated twice, once made it into the playoffs actually, so he needs his best day possible. Chaemiko top 6 in the world when it comes to ELO. These two separate 200 ELO points, which is a lot. In head-to-head comparison, 3-1 for Chaemiko. On this patch, it's 1-0 in seriouses, but that was the Leagues Cup. They always play a lot of maps, and that was a 7-2.
That means PCG is absolutely capable of winning maps and winning points, right?
True. It's absolutely true. Is he able to win against Human, though? Because on this patch, he's 0-3 against the Alliance. While Chaemiko
this is definitely...
is 11-2 versus Undead.
Yeah, this was definitely for a long time a very tough matchup for Human. This is the best time for Human versus Undead in a long time. Some people out there are still salty, as they have been for years, but I think actually this matchup is very fair at the moment. It's hard to tell, it's their early days, but that would be my estimation. And that being either Crypt Lord Fast Expo against Human Expansion or DK Fiends against Human Expo. But this build that we're seeing right here now, that Neo, is something I have literally never seen before. Ted Fiend opening is usually designed to tech fast, harass the human, make life difficult for him. It's very low tempo, but then accelerate well into the late game with DK, Fiends, Lich, Aura, Coils, Destroyers, all that. But this is a Crypt Lord. He doesn't have Coils, he doesn't have Aura. He has Beetles, which are great to have on level 2, but if you're creeping in the early game without any Fiends or Ghouls, you're not creeping that fast, and we can see this Crypt Lord is still not even level 2. Well, the AM's almost level 3.
It's a weird build. We do have a staff, and the observer is wondering where this is going to, but just more creeping. By the way, before you said this is the best time for Human vs. Undead, did you sure you locked your door? Otherwise, a French roundhouse kick might be coming to your door.
Well, after I betrayed that certain individual in Cologne a while ago, I feel like there's nothing I can do anymore to sour the relations.
Oh, I'm sure you'll find a way. You always do.
That's true. Oh, the AM shows up. Did you see the last hit? Oh, he did. Of the big boy. AM is level 3 here, and the Crypt Lord is struggling. Doesn't have his own level 3 yet. Doesn't have those beetles. And I appreciate PCG trying to be creative, trying to do something unusual that may catch Chaemiko off guard. That's Mr. Nice Guy Remo. And Mr. Real Guy Remo is like, this just looks like a bad build, bro. I'm sorry, but this just looks like a bad build.
Yeah, I kind of tend to agree. But alright, he also stole the item, by the way. Would have been nice to drain a little mana off of that Archmage. But I'm curious what his game plan is. Like, what's the follow-up? Is there a big dedicated tier 2 push? Or is he just supposed to creep now? Like, this Expo is untouched and not a single point of damage to this. And this is usually what you have to do, right? Delay the human tier 3 by as much as possible. And this is just absolutely not happening at all, while also not getting this expansion up. I have big question marks over my old bald head.
Yeah, Chaemiko's playing a great game here. He's making sure that the Crypt Lord isn't creeping up level 3. He's also making sure there's no counter expansion on the other side. If he had just been more passive, had just been creeping on his side, Crypt Lord might have crept level 3, gotten some sacrificial skulls, maybe go for a Fire Lord, and go all in. But if he's only level 3, that's going to be only level 2, excuse me, it's going to be much weaker. And he is at the tavern. Is this going to be a tavern hero? Tinker!
Oh, dude!
All in. Alrighty.
PCG loves the Tinker. He tower pushed against Linguagua not too long ago and actually was successful with that. Okay, the entire game was leading up to this. Is there an Acolyte? Yeah, but oh boy, he's very hurt. Do we even have a skull? Yeah. So, Pocket Factory, tower push by PCG, Mr. Cheese in China.
All right, tower pushing Q is very hard always because they can call militia, and it's gonna be, oh my god, look how much footy and militia stuff there's running in here. There's like 20 units. Good Impale hitting them once, but that's the Crypt Lord almost out of mana. He has the one of mana stealing still to use, but the Ziggurat's gonna be cancelled easily. Maybe the Pocket Factory should be focused more here, but whatever. It's gonna be focused soon after the Water Elementals take it out. And solid defense here by Chaemiko. Second Impale comes in, but it's not that much damage anymore nowadays. Crypt Lord out of mana. New Pocket Factory applied. Militia duration almost over. But the main is right there. He can recall the militia right away. However, you know, they're all a bit damaged here, to be fair.
Yeah, this is now the time to set the tower up. Will it work, though? Everything is really hurt. He has a shop. He's not healing up the militia. The value, right, on the footman
Beauty.
here. Absolute beauty. Doesn't really work on the poor workers. They have no health insurance here at Chaemiko country.
Call to arms. I think I heard the bells ringing again. One more Pocket Factory coming through. That's going to be the last one for a long, long time. And this AM can spawn Water Elementals like crazy. The Tinker got level 2, so we saw he actually did get quite a few kills here. He got kills, but still no towers. Cripple got 3. Now we have the level 2 beetles, finally. But he would have loved to have those much, much sooner. The first Ziggurat still not standing. And it could still be getting cancelled. Wait, that's a slaughterhouse. That's a proxy slaughterhouse.
What?
Alright. I mean, stats are pretty good. Let's see.
Unbelievable. Okay, tier 2 is almost done. Chaemiko will be supply stuck. That's of course a lot of blight established now. It's really hard to knock that slaughterhouse down once it's up. Statues will be amazing in this as long as they are not haunted down by water elementals, and the fiends absolutely need help.
Yeah. Statues desperately needed, but once they come out, I'm pretty sure that the water elementals are going to target them right away.
That's the last one for a while.
Level 2 brilliance, Neo. Don't you doubt level 2 brilliance. Where's the second hero for Chaemiko? Oh, he's supply blocked. The first mistake by Chaemiko this game.
No, he didn't forget about it. That the farm was killed. I'm pretty sure he's rebuilding it somewhere.
Oh, Panda in the middle.
Oh,
one kill. And 2. And 3. Oh. And suddenly he's almost level 2.
Oh. That was a lot of experience. That is what we call a jump start. Man, Chaemiko, he's not breaking a sweat at all, right? Like 1,000 gold on his account. Well, we have the statue now. That's the silver lining. Dark silver, though.
Yeah, you have to look really hard at this cloud.
Yeah.
Find the silver lining. Still trying, you know. Heart of a lion. You will give it his all, but so many more water elementals. Solid play by Chaemiko, never panicking, didn't cancel the tech. He knew he had enough militia and footies to hold the line here. I wonder how much better this would have looked with the Crypt Lord level 3. Clearly, it would have been much better, but would it have been close to working? Because this one was not really close to working.
Yeah, also if he gets the item there, if he gets a mana potion, Scroll of the Beast, whatever, would have been better. At least get the item from that spot. Cryptod stabs away, but I think it's just a matter of time before we see the famous 2 letters.
Yeah, without the Unholy Aura here, everything is a lot slower than we're used to. DK is still certainly a hero that you want to have in the late game. This obviously was ultra all-in.
Yeah.
Chaemiko might have even been able to afford losing the main and then still winning the game, but, well, that didn't happen. He's going tier 3. He's firing from all cylinders. Only thing he's missing is lumber a bit, so Shredder might not even be the worst idea. And yeah, PCG stuck on tier 2. His lumber also is shot to hell. And his chances in game 1 are as well.
But hey, you made an impression, right? Not too sure if your stream is buffering as well. Mine is. Okay.
That's fine.
Okay. There we go. Maybe I have to resync in a bit. You know, he made an impression. he knew that his opponent is way better in a straight-up game. He probably has no shot, so what a better way to make yourself famous than with an offensive slaughterhouse.
Yeah, that's always the argumentation, right? Like,
Yeah.
cheese if that's the only way. But honestly, he has shown some games in the past where his standard play was just very solid. And against these top players, it's also very rarely the case that these cheeses work. I mean, if it's a strong cheese, like some sort of like liquid fire bat rider lame with towers or something with expansions, then maybe. But this is just weird. He's gonna try again though. Saying hello once more. Tinker almost 3. Crypt Lord close to 4 as well. But we have an Archmage level 5. And the Panda's about to get level 3 as well. We do have a Shredder. And Chaemiko gonna go into upkeep soon. We have the Paladin coming. And TP home. It's time to clean up this mess.
Yeah, I think so too. This front yard looks a little messy, but for how long is the question. Impale, decent, kills a couple of units there. Focus fire is alright, but it will take too long for the buildings to get up. There's gonna be too much firepower on Chaemiko's side, even though the supply numbers aren't the craziest yet. The hero levels are like 5 and 3 with 2 heal scrolls, mana potion, invo potion. That says it all. Crypt Lord is in trouble, has a big mana stone, consumes it now, so stays in a little longer, but apart from that, not a single consumable. Calls for the GG, and Chaemiko takes PCG's map in a convincing fashion, withstands the cheese, and just eats this cheese.
Yeah, that was a build I've never seen before. Ted Fiend build with a Crypt Lord, intended to get to tier 2 fast, Creop level 3, and then all in with that level 3 and a Tinker and towers. Chaemiko, smartly realizing quickly what was going on, slowed down the Crypt Lord there very well, and had a good creep route to get very quickly to that level 3 AM, which was crucially important. On Northern Isles, it can sometimes be difficult. If you go green into Expo, your level 3 is going to be pretty damn slow, but if you go Tuskar into Expo, it's going to be much, much faster. And that worked out very well indeed for Mr. Chaemiko here, and we're going into map number 2 with him in the lead, Amazonia, for our second map, and that is not the greatest map for Crypt Lord, but it is a map where you can play something unusual. If PCG has practiced it before, a Lich Ghoul aggressive opening might not be out of the question.
I kind of agree, and since it's PCG, I wouldn't outrule another tower push in some sort of way. Rush distance super close, level 2 guaranteed. Like, with every other player, I would probably say, nah, not happening. But you know, last year, I called a Vortex Crypt Lord tower push on this map against Spiral, and I was right. So, with PCG also, don't outrule anything. Like, he could Acolyte rush him, and I wouldn't be crazily surprised.
Could also play standard, but perhaps that is not his intention here.
Dude, actually, that would be the biggest surprise.
It's not like he can't do it. He has shown before that he is capable of playing standard as well, even if he does it very rarely. That was really his best performance that I've seen from him in years, honestly. When he played that open qualifier final and the top 4 stage and everything, just playing straight up, just playing normal and looking solid there. But up against Chaemiko here so far, he's been trying something a bit cheeky. So, what else could be the play? Dreadlord, of course, is also a style point favorite. Fast expansion into Carrion Swarm Harass. But Dreadlord Fast Expo in Amazonia is very difficult. Sometimes you can risk it, just assume that you're not going to get scouted and assume that the human is going to expand himself, which can work, but obviously is a very risky strategy to go for. We see the highlights here, and it's just
Slaughter.
a wonderful highlight for Chaemiko. He might be looking at that tonight when he's going to bed to have a warm, fuzzy feeling going into Sleepy Town, because, yeah, everything was perfect there in Game 1.
Mom, look at this! I made it! One step away from the 3 big points. Yeah, he can't really afford to struggle here in a group with Lin and Hawk, especially with Human Mirror not really being his best matchup and Hawk being really good at that. It's way closer than it was, like, for example, 2 years ago, but you want a comfortable start into the tournament, you want the 3 points secured, and starting a tournament by taking your opponent's map is as good as it gets.
Yeah, it would be an interesting rematch, by the way, as well. Chaemiko and Hawk, they met before in the TED Cup semifinal, and there Chaemiko absolutely destroyed him with 3-0. Of course, this is all netties. This is all ping advantage for the Asian, so this is going to be an issue for Hawk, but maybe there'll be something he will have learned from this one. Although their encounter looked very standard. It was, you know, breakers on the smaller maps and maybe some expansions on maps like Last Refuge. We'll see if we get there. Chaemiko also, as I said earlier against Fortitude, he presented rifles into drop harass into knights, which was such a fun damn game, but probably also not the most reliable style you can go for. Chaemiko's record recently has been great, as I said earlier, just at the moment he has the golden touch. Everything he tries is working out. The last game he lost was against Foggy in the Smile Cup, which was 1.5 months ago, but after that it was like 7 wins in a row. He's been on absolute fire. Looking at his results there, losing to Foggy, losing to Colorful, maybe struggling a bit against Night Elf. But in this group, that's no concern.
Yeah, for sure. Also, if you look at the ELO ranks, Chaemiko is the 4th best player in this tournament, right after Lin, Lawlight, and Moon, ahead of 120, of Colorful, of Focus, and of Foggy. And that just shows how well he did in the past weeks and maybe even months. So if we see him in the semifinal, maybe even the grand final, I wouldn't be too surprised. We said it early on, Colorful and Chaemiko are the players to look out for. None of them has disappointed so far. I'm most curious about PCG's tactic choice right now. I don't think you can threaten or surprise Chaemiko in Game 2, which starts now on Amazonia.
Outing is of course going to be key here for Chaemiko to figure out what's going on. We kind of briefly touched on that earlier. Scouting in the mid game can be tough for Human, especially if you're playing a one-base game, they don't have many resources. But scouting early game with the first footy is always going to be easy to do. It's going to spot what's going on, as we see Chaemiko in the bottom left with a standard build. And we saw PCG's base also standard Tet Fiend opening. Now, normally, this would mean DK first, but who knows what PCG is going to present us here.
Could just be the same build as we've seen before. If it fails once, just try again, or I don't know. We'll see. DK it is. Okay. That is a very good build. Tet Fiend's established for more than 10 years now. And if Chaemiko expands here, this can be rough.
Yeah, absolutely. If things go wrong here at the natural, when you're creeping the rock golem, suddenly 3-4 peasants go down, maybe a footy or two, DK gets tons of experience. It can be difficult, although the top humans have become really good at being able to reliably creep this expansion by just executing it properly. And of course, Chaemiko is the king of small army micro. He can control multiple units individually perfectly. Also, something that Chaemiko has started to stand out for, especially against Night Elf, is being able to creep expansions very safely, perhaps somewhat late, but very safely. Against Colorful in the TED Cup on Concealed Hill, we saw this, where he delayed the expo, creeping with a ton of militia, and was always able to get a solid early game. PCG being a bit annoying, pulling in the green camp, making things a bit more difficult here for Chaemiko at the beginning.
Chaemiko counters by repositioning his Archmage, gets the lightning shield on most of the creeps here, and the DK comes in. Can he last hit something with a coil? It's getting close. He needs to throw something soon. I think this is one of the cleanest early game creep spots. Yep, Chaemiko gets it all, and the dream drops.
Wonderful items. As people like to call it, the Infeed DLC. Plus 9 damage, I was about to say, but now it's plus 8 damage.
Yeah, you tuned that down, don't you remember?
I do remember. A bit more damage now, a bit less damage now, I suppose, than it was in the past. And 2 peasants fall, okay. You know, that is going to be a little annoying. One of them was denied, though. Nicely done by Chaemiko. And that's important. Experience gain here for the DK crucial. As he wasn't creeping himself, he's going to be relying entirely on creep steals and kills to get that level 2, which is going to be desperately needed for the undead.
Okay. I guess the big advantage that PCG is gonna have is like tech lead. And he knows that this is coming, but you can't coil the big creep here. It's mostly going on units, I think, if you deal damage. But now's the time, as there's no level 3 Archmage at the moment, but it's so tough to do without any sort of army.
Footy that was pulling was getting nicely blocked there by the DK, so the Footy got ensnared. The pull didn't work out perfectly, but well enough. The Rock Golem is not using his boulders, which is the creep manipulation that you want to do here with pulling them out. And that makes it much easier to creep. Big last hit goes to Chaemiko. That's level 3. And that's a 2-level lead for the Korean.
Yep. And it's Scroll of the Beast as well, which will certainly help defending the next upcoming push. Clean as a whistle, lost 1 creep to a coil, I guess, but not many workers. Put some damage on the DK, who's at 50%, which seems to be the most effective way to deal with this harass at the moment. A signature move of Blade, for example, as well. Hawk is trying to catch up to that. But yeah, this is looking really good for Chaemiko again.
Yeah. Tremendous early game. He was just slightly slowed down by the DK, but again, if the DK harasses this early, kills those 2 peasants, he has to follow up with more kills and get that level 2. Being stuck now without aura makes things very, very hard for PCG. Of course, you can creep to get that level 2, but Chaemiko is scouting for it already. Perfect scouting by Chaemiko. He had the AM on the right side to look for a run by. He had the footies in the middle to look for a run by there, and he had the 1 single footman in the north to look for creeping over there. So wonderful scouting by the Korean human player. AM at the shop. Gonna go for some boots here, perhaps. Staff and boots. Sells the Scroll of the Beast. And is looking to pressure now against the Fiends.
Okay. DK does kind of the same. Staffs into the human base. Or second human base. While Chaemiko kills a ghoul on the north side of the map. I don't know. How many? Okay, there's 2 Rods of Necromancy still. Arcane Tower is up now, so these skeletons won't last for too long. That is damage done, but is this more efficient than what Chaemiko is doing is the question.
Yeah, killing 1 fiend definitely is good for Chaemiko. Killing 2 fiends would be huge. But the other fiend should make it to the DK to be saved that way, I think. AM with the boots, of course, very helpful here to chase with. And the DK got surrounded. The footy's over there. Find the surround against the trees. And in total, there was 3 or 4 peasants dying, maybe only 3. And that was not great for the undead.
Yeah, there was a town portal and time. No level 3 yet. Lich second needs to power creep. Chaemiko once again super comfortable with the situation of this game. Has started the tech, has an amazing inventory, has all the time in the world to creep this, I guess? Or is PCG being aggressive? He is aggressive, trying to play his Lich advantage.
Yeah, with the Nova, I can easily secure the last hit here. Chaemiko's gonna fall back. This is also something that Chaemiko has gotten very good at. Be careful with the footmen to be in position to be a threat with them, but to not waste them away. That's something that many human players do wrong. Run with the footmen too easily, too quickly, and lose them all to Nova and Focus Fire. Ideally, you want to be very careful with them. AM taking a bit of damage here. Is going to have to staff out. The shop wasn't finished yet, so hard right now to heal up. Footmen do commit in now and eat the Nova. 1 footy going down right away, but that's a Lich out of mana. No more Frost Nova now.
Yeah, that was the last one. There's 1 or 2 coils still, but if you're so close to level 3, you kind of don't want to throw them. Does it anyway. Archmage, can he survive, make it to the shop? Looks like it. No focus fire on that at all. And it's a little brawl. Like, this is no game-changing damage. This is a footman falling. This is potion forced. But he has the 2 bases. He can easily afford all that.
Lots of footies saved, pulled into the bag, healing up with that Regent Scroll. And Tier 2 is going to be finished soon for Chaemiko, which is going to mean Mountain King. I think he didn't go for Shredder, so not super high lumber. So, oh no, there it is. Okay, the Shredder was just newly added. So we're going to have, in fact, tons of lumber soon for Chaemiko. Going to be no problem for him to go to Tier 3 and Mountain King and everything else that is only available in Amazonia. This easy Shredder maybe has to do with the pick here being the choice for Chaemiko. This map, Amazonia. Lich getting pressure, but he survives. AM with the boots, able to apply so much pressure, and PCG being forced back. This is the time in the game where the Undead is supposed to be superior. It's supposed to be driving the tempo and forcing the issue before the MK is out, but even here, Chaemiko is dictating the tempo.
Yeah, there is a pedal to the metal, but I guess it's the brake pedal for PCG. Chaemiko just playing it excellently, knowing at every stage of the game what to do, how much or how hard to commit. Now pulling back again as he sees the tech coming, but the DK is one level behind that Archmage. He's getting level 2 Brilliant Aura soon. Tier 2 is finished, so it's just a matter of seconds until we see the Mountain King. And then I guess Fiends will just be annihilated. Double racks. I think I saw a workshop as well, so even if there's destroyers coming up, they will be dealt with. I really don't see a way out for PCG.
Yeah, once again, it's the favorite here in absolute control. Seems like we're gonna have the third stomp of the day on our hands. Just a picture-perfect game for Chaemiko here. Spending his lumber very well. Despite having a shredder, still able to spend all of this lumber perfectly on, production buildings, on towers, and on a lot of footmen. Well, those don't take lumber, but he still has lots of them. Going for the Stormbolt surround. Does he have the DK locked in? He does. If the DK falls, this game is definitely over. Trying to move out. Gets level 3. May have to go into Death Pact here. Oh, that feels bad.
Yo.
But even that won't save him. GG is called, and Chaemiko with an absolute shellacking. Looking dominant. Getting the 3-0, leaving no chance to PCG. And gets the result that we expected.
Exactly. 203 points. Chaemiko with a victory following Focus and Colorful onto the top of the group, top of the pack. Not breaking a sweat, not getting nervous because of his new role as one of the favorites in this tournament. Didn't fall to the cheese, didn't fall to the standard. And he's now, what was it? Got it in a second. 12-2 in Human versus Orc on this patch. It's incredible.
It's Undead, right?
Against Undead. What did I say?
Orc.
Yeah.
But that's fine. Also against Orc, he's looking good. Chaemiko's just looking good across the board. Maybe slightly struggling against the top Night Elves, but that will not be an issue until the playoffs if he does make it there, which again, seems likely. Him and Lin are the top favorites there. Lin is going to be facing Hawk tomorrow, but we're going to be done with Group C for the day. And yeah, so far, we haven't had the most thrilling games. It's been very clear so far, but that's going to change soon. Chaemiko starting off very well into this tournament. His shape is looking wonderful. He has looked good in WGL before. He has made it into top 4 before, right?
Chaemiko WGL, no,
wait,
it was
top eight,
top 6 actually, when we had the double elimination when Happy won. That was, in my opinion, still the best format we ever had. And yeah, Chaemiko was in the group there with Happy and Sock and made it out. That was his best performance. Apart from that, only group stage eliminations. So 6 participations, only 1-time playoffs. That's about to change. For PCG, 1-time participation, of course, eliminated early. Don't think that will change, but yeah, maybe his big goal is to take a map off of Hawk, and that is totally possible if he plays a little better than he did before, but it's gonna be a different beast as well. Next up, Sock versus Linguagua. I'm curious if we get an interview here this time by Chaemiko, if Colorful is just the odd one out. But yeah, Sock versus Linguagua, guaranteed fun.
Yeah, Sock has been having a bit of a rough time over the last couple of weeks. He has been surpassed by Chaemiko pretty clearly in performance and results. And Linguagua has been enjoying this patch quite a bit along with many other orcs. We're going to see Sock's attempt at trying to deal with the Farseer Headhunters. I think also from him, we've seen that Beastmaster harass on tier 2, which has been a pretty fun style to witness. It's really tempo driven, it's really aggressive at the moment, that matchup on the top level, from what we've seen recently. Maybe something new has occurred. This is still what I wait for. This is always really exciting for me for WGL. Sometimes we see that new emerging style being presented at WGL and, blowing the Warcraft scene away. One of the most impressive examples of this was Infi, right? 2 WGLs ago, when Lawlight was destroying everyone and the Night Elves were, with the Mass Archer, 1 base, triple hero. and took Infi with a perfect expansion play and double barracks with footies into knights to show us the answer. Are we gonna have a similar occurrence here, where WGL shows us the new meta, shows us the new answer? We'll find out over the next week.
Exactly, and apparently no post-game interview here from what I can tell as we go into the next break. We have a wonderful donation by Duro, €5. Happy birthday, my favorite Giannis. Thank you, you're also my favorite Duro. What a perfect fit. Looking forward to seeing you in Cologne. Next match in 4 minutes, 30 seconds. Another Korea versus China battle in Group B. Sok versus Lingguagua to your home screens in a bit. Don't go anywhere and feel free to throw us a sub or a little donation, a tip with crypto or PayPal. Feel free to check out our Patreon that we got up, or the merch, or anything. The About section is there for you while we are taking a little break. Be right back.